Tonight, the latest legal setback for former President Trump. A federal appeals court ruling the Justice Department is free to resume reviewing 100 classified documents seized from Mar-a-Lago, reversing an earlier decision by a federal judge that had blocked the government from examining those materials. Mr. Trump overnight insisting he declassified the records, an argument his lawyers have not made in court.
There doesn't have to be a process, as I understand it. If you're the president of the United States, you can declassify just by saying it's declassified, even by thinking about it.
But the appeals court brushed off that argument as a red herring, saying the documents are still government property, whether or not they were declassified. Then there's the new $250 million civil lawsuit against Mr. Trump, as well as Ivanka, Don Jr., and Eric Trump, brought by New York's Attorney General Letitia James. Mr. Trump slamming the suit by James, a Democrat, as a politically motivated witch hunt.
She campaigned on it 4 years ago. It was a vicious campaign, and she just talked about Trump, and we're going to indict him, we're going to get him.
James is accusing Mr. Trump of inflating his assets to get more favorable loans and better tax rates.
The pattern of fraud and deception that was used by Mr. Trump and the Trump Organization for their own financial benefit is astounding.
One example she cites, Mr. Trump's 212-acre estate outside Manhattan, bought for $7.5 million, that was later valued at nearly $300 million, on what James says were false claims that it had been zoned for mansions. But Mr. Trump argues the banks were responsible for their own valuations.
These are banks that have the best law firms in the world, the biggest and best and most powerful. They do their own work. They don't rely on us.
Meanwhile, we're learning Ginny Thomas, the wife of Supreme Court Justice Clarence Thomas, has agreed to be interviewed by the January 6th committee in the coming weeks. The committee wants to ask about her communications with a Trump lawyer who was pushing a plan to overturn the 2020 election's results.
Thanks for watching our YouTube channel. Follow today's top stories and breaking news by downloading the NBC News app.